Just how good or bad is Conspit sim racing equipment? We're going to find out today because I've got some review Conspit equipment from RaceSim in the UK. This is not paid for. I don't have to say anything good or bad. I'm just going to be completely honest. But I'm very curious because I've got here a Conspit 290GP steering wheel, which you can see on the camera behind me is like a forged carbon front, lots of buttons, kind of angled out for easy placement, and the screen as well, and we've got the integrated LEDs, an Aries Platinum 18 Newton meter direct drive that was quite difficult to bolt onto the rig, and also CPP Evo pedals, which are hydraulic. Now, I've had a race before this just to make sure everything's working, and the CPP Evo pedals for me are absolutely the star of the show. Like, these are hydraulic pedals. I haven't really used hydraulic pedals before. I've driven on lots of different rigs at sim racing expos and conferences and whatnot, even sort of behind closed doors. Sometimes I speak with the manufacturers, but hydraulic pedals are just generally something I haven't used that often. But using it here, these are very, very, very good pedals, and you notice it. There's some things you don't really notice in sim racing. Like, if you have a very good steering wheel, sometimes you just don't notice it because it's so good, it's so realistic, it's so authentic. It just sort of melts away in your hands and you become at one with the car you're driving in the sim. That's absolutely great. Pedals, however, I think because there's a bit more like concentrated thought when we're using pedals. These hydraulic pedals are very realistic feeling for road cars, I would say, definitely. So I drive road cars a lot. I'm driving road cars all the time. As you might know, I drive the Peugeot RCZ, sports car, absolutely insane car, and I'm used to hitting that brake pedal, obviously safely, safe environments a lot. I've also driven a Ferrari GT3 car in America, and I've raced Mazda MX-5s in Spain. So I've raced Mazdas that are road cars. And this sensation on the pedals, something with the hydraulics, and I haven't really messed around with this at all, and it comes with haptics, vibrations, that I'm not using right now because that's all through SimHub. I need to configure that. So it's just the pure hydraulic brake that I have configured slightly in the Conspit software is one of the best brakes I've ever used. And the main question for me is it better than the SimuCube Active pedals, which are the most expensive pedals in the world? And the pedals that when people ask me, what are the best pedals? I say SimuCube Active pedals, because they adjust, they have all the ABS and TC, and it's more advanced than haptics really. And I've found the benefit of all of that when I've been doing Assetto Corsa Evo, and sometimes I want to adjust the pedals for different cars, and I just do it in like one click in the software and the pedal just moves. It's absolutely insane. However, with that said, these pedals feel more natural, definitely for a road car feeling, than any other pedal that I've ever used, including the SimuCube Active pedal. Now, for a Formula 1 car, I don't think these pedals are going to be what you want. However, you can adjust them and you can change the hydraulics and, you know, but you may be able to get that sensation. But I think for a Formula 1 pedal, where you're putting like a whole load of force through it and there's not a lot of travel, I suspect you're not going to get the benefit of the hydraulics. However, for any pedal that has a reasonable amount of travel, I think the hydraulics are going to be insane. It genuinely feels like you're using a brake in a real car. It's very uncanny. But I just want to make that clear. I think the benefits are going to be more as you go down the road car spectrum. Obviously here I'm driving a Lamborghini GT3. So star of the show, I think these CPP Evo pedals. Let's move on to the wheel in my hand, the 290GP. I've used this at a few expos and I've always been impressed by it. I've seen kind of distributors putting it on their rigs. There's a few reasons for that, I think. Firstly, really like the grips. It's very easy to get grips wrong in sim racing. I think the Moser FSR 1 grips are not the best grips in the world by far, and I would love to get more feedback on that. Anyone who's bought a Moser FSR 1, what do you think of the grips? Like, do you agree that they're too hard, they're just not enough quality in them, or am I kind of off base there? But that's really my strong opinion, and I feel like they might have tweaked it slightly in the FSR 2, but to be honest, the jury's still out on that. And when you look at something like my Asher GT4 rim, absolutely unbelievable grips. The Asher Ultimate rim that Max Verstappen uses, unbelievable grips. The SimuCube GSI wheel that I used recently, like phenomenal grips. And these grips are pretty good grips as well. I don't think these grips are on the same quality as the Asher grips or the Simucube GSI grips, but I think they're maybe just a step below that, but they're above the Moser FSR grips. These are better than the Moser FSR 1 or 2 grips. Yes, it's a slightly different wheel because it's a GT form factor and it's not like a pure Formula wheel. Let's go on to the wheelbase a little bit. So this is the Aries Platinum. The Aries Platinum is an 18 Newton meter base that was quite difficult to mount because it has T-slot in it. Like, you have to go up into T-slot, and the issue with that is that the T-slot moves around in channels. So difficult to mount unless I'm very stupid, and I am very stupid, so it could be me. I think you can also mount it from the side, which might be a lot simpler. But I have to say, pretty impressed by the wheelbase. It's amazing how these days with direct drives, it's harder for wheelbases to stand out. But 18 Newton meters, I'm not running it at 18, I'm running it at a percentage lower than that. But it's got a nice amount of detail over curbs. It's not true force level as I go over them, but this is 100% very comparable to my Moser R16. So Moser with the R16 is 6 Newton meters, Aries Platinum is 18 Newton meters. So pretty close on the Newton meter front, but it's a bit sleeker than the Moser R16. It also has a load of USB-C ports on the back, which I like, and the CPP Evo pedals can plug in via USB-C, which is awesome. Nice force feedback through the corners. No oscillation on the straight, absolutely none. I mean, that was a big... Oscillation down the straight was a big thing for most sim racing companies. And I don't know too much about Conspit. I interviewed their founder and CEO, Edward, in Germany at the Sim Racing Expo, and I was impressed by his ingenuity and sort of like passion for motorsport. And he told me then that basically he just has one mission, which is to make the best sim racing equipment in the world. And I was kind of like, yeah, that's cool, everyone's trying to do that. But actually, I have to say, the unboxing side of things for this Conspit equipment was very impressive. Way more impressive than I think anything else I've unboxed other than the Mustang VPG or the Lamborghini Ascensa wheel from Moser. But the unboxing experience was good. In fact, the pedals came with like almost like an anime drawing of them, which I really enjoyed. I thought that was a very nice touch. So it seems like they are going for that premium factor. And there's also some nice touches with the pedals about how you attach them and pre-threaded holes and everything, which is awesome. And I guess by adding T-slot on the bottom of this Aries Platinum, they're trying to make it compatible directly with aluminium profile rigs, which is interesting. You can see probably that there's 2 holes on the side here that I think make it much easier to mount. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this wheel off. That's the wheel there. It might be blurry. So we've got the forged carbon and everything. The buttons coming in at an angle. These encoders or rotaries are very easy to turn. Very easy to turn as well. And it comes with a quick release that has the data connector in there. Put it back on and we're already good to go. So yeah, pretty impressive off the bat. Let me know if you have any questions about Conspit, any things you want me to try in particular. There's some more videos around here that you might enjoy, and I'll see you next time.